Hi, Mitch Argon with Calneva Realty here. Welcome back to another session of the market update for the Greater Reno Tahoe real estate market. We're going to take you through September numbers here in just a minute. Let's jump right in. As in prior month, we'll start with median price. As you can see, median price slightly down in most markets here in the region, currently up 5%. But overall pricing is fairly stable. However, I should caution you that there are some market segments, pockets of the market that have seen more price erosion. For example, the condo market in Reno or Sparks is down more than the single family homes and more consistent on a trend line. If you look at this visually over the last couple of years, you can see how these lines stack up. And notwithstanding the dip we had late 2022 when the rates began to rise, we've been fairly stable on median price. And that has been somewhat of a surprise with the higher interest rates, but I think at this point we've learned that lesson and understand that dynamic pretty well. With regard to homes sold here in the center column, adding to the median price, you can see it's a bit of a mixed bag. The markets, here you see Carson City's down quite a bit, Carson Valley's up quite a bit. These are relatively small numbers, so you see from 45 to 55 is 10 sales. So as a percentage, it's a pretty meaningful number, but it's not a huge actual number. Pretty stable in general. And then month supply of inventory, you can see the markets have tightened up just a little bit over the last 3, 4, or 5 weeks. And so not a whole lot of movement in here. You can see we're pretty stable from where we were a year ago. A few months ago, these were consistently up across the board. You can see it's a little bit mixed now. Carson City coming down, Sparks flat, Reno slightly up, and Carson Valley up 20%, which has really been leading the way for the primary markets that we have in the region. The Tahoe market at 8.8 is not really, that does not correlate to a traditional market where people are living and working. It's such a strong second home market, and the dynamics are very different. So you wouldn't want to take that to the bank at 8.8. Inventory. We had seen inventory rising consistently week by week as homes are coming on the market. A few more homes coming on the market than were going under contract. That did change about a month ago, and it kind of reversed just a little bit. It's still a slight change. We've been seeing inventory contract on a week-by-week basis over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and you can see the story here. When we look at this on a month-by-month basis over the last 2 years, you can see that even though we've been tightening up just a little bit, you can see we're coming down a little bit up in here, flattening out to coming down just a little bit from month to month. We are still quite a bit ahead of where we were 1 year ago and 2 years ago. I'll show you a chart here in just a minute that compares where we were on a month-by-month basis compared to where we were years ago, and you'll see that we are still in pretty good shape with regard to inventory remaining low, if that makes sense, being in good shape. What I'm referencing is some of the markets I've seen an explosion in inventory, and I've seen some significant price drops as a result of that. So we'll jump into that here in just a bit. Month supply of inventory, a visual look back on 2 years. This is similar to what we have seen in prior periods, although we're slightly more elevated. You can see the Carson Valley market leading the way in here. I don't have Tahoe on this chart, but you can see it kind of leading the way here up into just tapping into the neutral market territory, while the other markets remain still comfortably below here at three months and lower throughout the region. So a couple thoughts to share with you. The first thing is, and I'll cover some of this in a chart here in just a moment, we have been tracking the inventory levels, and we still are in actually pretty strong position with regards to maintaining neutral probably pricing as we're going forward. These markets I'm referencing up here have seen price reductions in their markets because inventory has ballooned to levels higher, in some cases 2 times higher than pre-pandemic. We're going back to 2019 on that. So we are still comfortably below 2019 levels and seem to be tracking pretty well. And I'll show you a chart on that real quick. You can see it here. So here's September. Here is where we were in 2019, pre-COVID, pre-pandemic. For this geography, which is pretty much the Northern Nevada region, sans Tahoe, 1,887 listings in September of 2019. If we come down to this line here, which is the thicker kind of teal colored line, in September we have 1,576. So you want to look at this kind of orange, burnt orange colored line through here, and this line through here, which is 2025, and see how they compare. And you can see that we're tracking consistently with that line, but we are staying well below. We're not seeing a crossing of those lines. And we may not, with interest rates coming down here in the near term, we may not see a crossing of those lines. The big question people are asking right now, and the big thing that's happening in the real estate and housing industry, is that interest rates are coming down. They're forecasted to come down quite a bit more in a more meaningful way here over the next probably 12 months. That's largely a function of some jobs data that's coming out, which shows that jobs hiring of new employees is decreasing, and so that's prompting the Fed to look at taking a more aggressive approach towards lowering rates. That will eventually trickle into mortgage rates. Even though mortgage rates are down right now, they're probably in the low sixes. They could get down possibly into the mid fives and lower. That probably won't occur until sometime late next year, probably third quarter, maybe second quarter if things go really aggressively. So the big question is what's going to happen when those interest rates come down and buyers get more buying power? There are many buyers who have been priced out of the market because of the higher interest rates. They come back into the market. Is that going to create a rush of demand and put upward pressure on prices? And the $64,000 question that you need to ask is, how many of those buyers who are coming back into the market as buyers are also property owners who will be selling property in order to purchase at the same time at that lower rate? So what that means is we'll have an increase in inventory. If some meaningful percentage of those buyers are sellers, they will be putting homes in the market. That increases inventory, but we're also increasing demand. And there's potential for pricing to go up, down, or stay stable. Of course, we don't know. We don't have a crystal ball. One thing I do know for sure is that with these lower rates, there will generally, I'm expecting there to be more activity in the marketplace. The volume of home sales in the real estate markets nationally, and we're no different in Northern Nevada, has been up 20 to 25, in some years 30% from pre-pandemic levels. So that volume will probably pick up. I expect the markets to be more active. That probably affects lenders, escrow companies, and real estate brokers and agents more than it does you as a consumer. But we'll see. I wish I had a crystal ball to share with you, but we'll find out. We were all surprised when rates went up. We thought prices would come down, but they remained stable for the most part because of that low inventory. And so we just don't know what's going to happen when rates come back down, how the inventory and demand balance each other out or cancel each other out. We'll find out as we move forward in time. Okay, that's it for this month. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your feedback. If you have any questions or would like any help with properties you own or are looking to purchase, please feel free to reach out to me or any of our agents here in our Reno office or in our Carson Valley office. Until next month, thanks for watching and have a good day.